lately I've become obsessed with the classic internet, the internet that existed before people spent most of their time on social networks. The stumble upon internet. The internet when you would find a website and then you would read something on it, thing would blow your mind. It would be so good and you would share it with so many other people. And then you would stick around on that website. You would go down the rabbit hole. You would want to see what else this website has. You would get obsessed with the writer or the writers on that website and just love everything about that site. And that's an idea that I'm becoming obsessed with lately. Again, I was obsessed with this in 2015. I started doing this. Then I did this for a few years and I got into crypto and I shared that story. It was a pretty great story. And I'm obsessed with it again because I like brand building. I like creating media assets like this. And so yesterday I talked about using long form content, SEO content marketing in order to get backlinks to a website. Because one of the reasons why I am excited and obsessed about creating this website media entity is because of all of the backlinks that you get in doing that. I'm a very SEO driven person. I love search engine optimization. I want to get backlinks. And this is, I said yesterday, I'm going to be recording more episodes about SEO content marketing. And that's what today's episode is about. So it's another example of SEO content marketing. But I like this idea of having a reputation for great content. I think that's something that I have and something that I'm developing as I do these daily podcasts and as I do my daily TikTok, daily video, and my weekly newsletter. Oh my gosh, it's a Friday. I got to prepare the one for Sunday. But I just love this idea of building up a library of quality content over time and creating where the product is also the marketing. The product is this library of great content that you create. And that attracts links. And then you can use those links to get more domain authority, or you use those links to do bottom of funnel search engine optimization. It's just basic SEO content marketing, but it's extended over a longer period of time. And I talk about the shortcuts on the show, but this is one of those long cuts that I'm just obsessed with. And since I'm obsessed with it, I'm going to share an article that is a good example of just incredible SEO research, one that has a lot of links. It's just a great article, a fascinating article, and is a very successful piece of SEO content marketing. That article, it's called How 16 Companies Are Dominating the World's Google Search Results, 2023 edition. This is by Glenn Alsop on detailed.com. I love that domain name, detailed.com. It's just detailed.com/Google-control. That's the URL for this article. This article has 738 inbound links going to it from 216 linking domains. If this is your first time listening to The Edward Show and you don't know anything about search engine optimization, backlinks, links from other websites, especially high authority websites, increase the authority of the websites that those links point to. And this allows you to show up number one on Google for the things that you want to show up for. That's the very crude, basic explanation of it. So you want lots of these things called backlinks, and one of the ways that you get them is by having really linkable, shareable, good content on your site. There are strategies around this. Sometimes people get around making it actually good. People cheat, but that comes with risks. And I think making good content is not as hard as people think. I talked about this at the end of yesterday's episode. You could spend time putting out 8 500-word articles, or you could spend time putting out one 4,000-word article. And just because that 4,000-word article is longer and goes deeper, it can actually get a lot more links, a lot more than the 8 500-word articles combined. This is something that's called top of funnel search engine optimization. And while this form of SEO is being displaced because of generative AI, as in people are asking these top of funnel exploratory questions to generative AI, creating these things is still pretty good for getting links. And you need those links to show up number one on Google and other search engines. Bottom of funnel search engine optimization, that's when you actually have the articles, the pages that are 500 words or even shorter. This is a different strategy. This is link building. This isn't actually creating the pages to directly get you customers or users or visibility. This one's a little bit different. Bottom of funnel SEO, it's a hack in its own way because you actually don't even need that much domain authority oftentimes to rank for purchase intent bottom of funnel keywords. But if you want to go after the really competitive ones, then you do. And I'm at a point where I want to go after very competitive ones. I'm out here in this small city in Poland because there are too many distractions in New York. And I just want to grind on a content funnel, getting links, putting out amazing content, creating products. And a good way to do that is to not get distracted with everything that New York City, my home, has to offer. So now I have this new home, which is in Poland. And it's a good home. It's a very comfortable place. So this article, how 16 companies are dominating the world's Google search results. I told you how successful it is at having links. I'm just going to read the introduction like I did yesterday. I think it's a pretty intriguing introduction, and you'll understand why this article, one of the reasons why this article has so many links. In the Academy Award nominated Food Inc., filmmaker Robert Kenner reveals how the extensive range of products we see on supermarket shelves is actually controlled by just a handful of companies. Today, I'm going to reveal how the seemingly diverse set of websites in Google search results are often owned by just a few brands, and exactly what you can learn from those brands in question. I first covered this topic in 2016, resulting in the most successful article I've ever published. 7 years later, it still gets mentioned weekly in tweets, Facebook groups, and newsletters. Many of the leading websites in that initial report are still dominant today, but the companies behind them and how they operate have massively evolved. So today I'm excited to bring you the result of months of work and share exactly what they're doing to succeed right now in 2023. If you wonder where SEO and publishing content online is heading in the age of AI, there's probably no one better to track and analyze than the companies whose search engine rankings are worth billions of dollars. The 16 companies in this report are behind at least 562 individual brands, which get traffic from Google each day. Combined, SEMrush estimates they pick up around 3.7 billion clicks from the search engine each month, an average of 6 million monthly clicks per site. This report is not an attempt to track every single brand doing well in Google. I'm primarily focused on networks with sites in a variety of niches, such as pets, tech, food, and sports, that typically publish English language content. Many are insanely financially successful, in no small part due to the traffic search engines like Google sends their way. And you'll likely search for something today where they'll be on the first page of results. I think there's a ton we can learn from them, but first they need an introduction. A graphic seemed like the best fit. So now there's a graphic showing the 16 corporations. It's Hearst, Future, Condé Nast, Recurrent, PMC, Accelerate 360, Digital Trends, Vox Media, Internet Brands, Red Ventures, The Arena Group, Valnet, Ziff Davis, Bustle, Fandom, and Dotdash Meredith. And then each of these owns so many brands. And that's what this graphic shows. There's a bunch of graphics in this article. This article, so that was me reading the introduction, I think is a pretty fascinating introduction. Something that you'll notice with good pieces of long-form content is they have extraordinary introductions. That's what keeps people hooked. Oftentimes, people will share it just based on how good the introduction is. People will share it while they're reading the introduction. Oh my God, this is so good. I'm so excited. And people will share it. This article is huge. I think what this person does is just keeps adding to the article like every week. Because the article that I talked about yesterday was 4,300 words. This article is 13,500 words. Insane. And so this content marketing guide, which I talked about yesterday from Moz, says an easy way to make a linkable piece of content is just to make something that's really long and go really deep. And that's what this article did. This article is on an SEO site, detailed.com. Sells SEO products. It has a Chrome extension, and then it has, I guess it's a course or a class. I think the way that it makes itself seem in demand is really smart. What they sell is the SEO Blueprint 2. And then in the hero, it says, I want cutting edge SEO tactics that are actually ranking websites. And then this is what it says when you scroll down. As promised, the doors are closed. A huge thanks to all who joined us. Let's level up your search traffic. SEO Blueprint only opens once or twice per year. To make sure you don't miss our next opening, click here to join the waiting list. It's so smart. And everything about the site, by the way, I would so strongly recommend checking out the site. The site has in sound effects. It has in these animations in certain places, just so many cute different things. I remember I discovered this earlier this year, I think. I was living in Warsaw at the time. This was before I went back to New York City. So it was early in this year. And I did a deep dive on just all the little touches that detailed.com puts into its site to make itself beautiful and special. And I really appreciate that. This site is a masterpiece. The articles are good. To be honest, like, no hate, but I actually was more excited by the introduction of the article that I read to you than the content of it. I think I made it a third of the way in, and then I stopped. Of the 16 companies, and I stopped because I just no longer found it very fascinating. So I thought the content was mediocre, but it goes so deep, and the introduction is so good that to me, it's no wonder that it has so many links. It's no wonder that it has so many backlinks, because the conclusion that it draws as well, 16 companies dominates the search engine results pages. That's a great conclusion. I don't think it needs 13,000 words. But by doing that, it makes it more linkable just as a feat, just as, wow, this thing has 13,000 words. Everything about this site, I love this site. I want to put in sound effects into my own site. It's so cool. What this company does is so good. And, I was looking, they say envy is the enemy of happiness, or comparison is the enemy of happiness, something like that. But I was looking on SimilarWeb to see how my site compared to detail.com. I'm pretty proud. SimilarWeb ranks detailed.com on a global rank 322,000, and it ranks my site 394,000. Crazy. And it doesn't get that many more total visits than I do. So I'm pretty impressed. Pretty impressed with how my site's coming along. I think that's because I put in work into putting out great articles every week on the newsletter. And then most of those articles, if they're not too crazy, this most recent article was too crazy and I couldn't do it. But most of those articles most of those newsletters appear in my article section of edwardsturm.com. And that gets traffic, that gets recommended. And then some of my articles are long form articles, which are meant to get links. And that's actually something that I'm working on now. That's something that I'm going to do later today. Really excited about doing it. I sent out an email yesterday. I sent out a link outreach email yesterday. I'm trying something that I haven't tried before, which I've talked about in previous episodes. It's a crazy strategy, so I can't say which of the strategies it was, but I can say that if you listen to my previous episodes, it's there. And I'm just hyped. I'm so excited. All right, this is episode 149 of The Edward Show. 149 of The Edward Show. Beautiful night here in Poland. Had such a crazy morning. I was going to talk about this, and then this episode has been running long, but I'm going to just give this quick story. If you want to hear what it's like to live in this old town in Poland. So I'm living in this small city in Poland called Wrocław. 70% of the city was destroyed during World War II. And I've only been here for less than 3 weeks. I was going to a farmer's market. It's called Hala Targowi or Hala Targowa, something like that. I'm going to this farmer's market to buy a Turkish coffee maker. It's one of those like special cups. I want to see if they sell it at this farmer's market. I take the tram down to the farmer's market. Then I see in the distance that I can go across this bridge, across the water, and I've never done that before. I've been meaning to do it, and I'm just like, let me just see what's beyond this. I can't really see past the bridge, and I'm curious. I'm a curious person. So I walk past the bridge between like two narrow brick buildings, and then this area opens up, and on the horizon, the river gets bigger. Beyond the river are rows of old houses with old red brick roofs. And beyond that are huge cathedrals, enormous cathedrals. My jaw drops. I feel like I'm in Prague, and I've been to Prague. I know what Prague is like. And I was thinking about going to Prague. I was thinking about doing a day trip to Prague because it's only 4.5 hours away. And I see this, and I keep walking. And I'm like, I wanted to go back home so I could work. I wanted to get this coffee maker, go back home so I could work, but I'm too stricken. So I keep walking. And now there's these tight cobblestone streets. And there's this I previously was living in the old town here, but there's like another old town in this city. And there's these two huge cathedrals. I pass one of them and then I go up to the biggest one and I go inside. There's not too many people inside, and I see that I can pay a small fee and go up to the top. So I pay, it's like a $6 fee. I take these stairs, which brings me to an elevator. And in the elevator is this old, soft-spoken man. He puts out his hand, and I shake it. And it's so funny because he put out his hand asking for my ticket. And I thought he was trying to shake my hand. And so I give him the ticket. He rips the ticket, takes me up to the top. I'm the only one at the top of this crazy cathedral. And I can see everything in the entire city from this cathedral. And it's so big. And it's noon. It's noon at this point, and the bells start going off. And it was just a beautiful morning here in Wrocław, Poland. That's what it's like. That's what my life is like. All right. That's the story that I'm going to end this episode with. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.